Welcome to the Intel Hub News Brief, uncovering the cold hard truth that the corporate media just can't handle. A service of the IntelHub.com. Now, here's Joe Joseph from Freedom Link Radio and Popeye from Federal Jack.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Intel Hub News Brief with myself, Popeye from FederalJack.com, and my good friend Joe Joseph from the Freedom Link Radio program over on the Orion Talk Radio Network. Tonight, we're going to be bringing you information about people that are against Dr. Ron Paul, against his campaign for presidency, and their plan to smear him and all of his supporters as members of the Ku Klux Klan and racists. So without further ado, I'm going to give the floor to Joe, and he's going to get right into it. Joe, the floor is yours, my friend.
Well, so members of the Stop Ron Paul 2012 Facebook group posted a thread announcing a plan to stage a false flag against the Paul campaign. Now, Paul Joseph Watson wrote a great article on Infowars.com. It's called Paul Hader's Plan KKK Stunt to Smear Congressman. And the idea is to dress up in KKK robes and go to these events and go ahead and infiltrate it, right? So here we go. I'm gonna narrate this for you guys just so everybody is clear about how much of this is the cream of the crop of society, folks. So here we go. This is Jerry Brower. He goes, if you live in South Carolina and want to have some real fun with these Paul bots here, is what we do. Go online and buy or make your very own KKK robe, complete with hood. And in parentheses, hood is important. Then get some Ron Paul signs off the internet or make your own. Follow Paul around South Carolina and be sure to get photographed by the media. Again, hoods are important. All can be Klansmen for Paul. Black, white, Jewish, Asian, those Paul bots will shit a brick. And so there's some talk down underneath. This is a thread, of course, on Facebook. And Chris Collins weighs in and says, this is a seriously great idea. Anyone want to volunteer? And, of course, Jerry Brower responds, Chris, if we could get 10 of us to do it, I'm down. But where does one get a KKK robes? So, then there's more. Mike Maytag Bradley says, yeah, that's funny as hell. Whew. And Sharon Lynn says, well, while it might be funny for an SNL skit, it only makes you look like a real liberal idiot to the world. There is enough real KKK members who support Ron Paul. To make them up seems redundant. Yes, because you just see them coming out in droves at all his events, Nothing but white sheets just everywhere, So it continues. And the very last one, this is great. This is fantastic. Mr. Rex Foster, you're my hero, my man. It says, just volunteer to make calls for Ron Paul to the voters there. And he gives a little spiel, like a robocall spiel. It says, hi, I am blank, and I'm calling on behalf of Ron Paul's campaign. He wants you to know that the lizard people from Xenon 33 are working behind the scenes with the Bilderbergers and the Federal Reserve to steal all the money and suck your brains out. Vote for Ron Paul, and he will fight to stop this takeover. Do you see what we're dealing with here, folks? I just want you to be perfectly clear. So if you see something like this at a Ron Paul event, understand, of course, that it's all crap, and we all know this. But the attacks as we go forward are just going to get worse. And it's not necessarily a conspiracy. It has nothing to do with the government.
But by definition, it is a conspiracy. If two
of course it is,
get
right,
together and plan to do something bad, by definition
right,
and legal definition, it is a conspiracy. So people need to stop being a bunch of ignoramuses and stop
Exactly.
following their Pavlovian training where they point and laugh at stuff they don't understand or they think is strange. They need to stop that and stop looking at the word conspiracy with such disdain and understand that it's used against us. If two people are protesting and the cops arrest them, and what do they usually get charged with? Conspiracy to commit something, two or more people. That's all it requires. So all these protesters that get arrested all the time, they usually get charged with conspiracy to commit riot or something. So it happens. So people need to get over it. Anyway, go back to Joe. I just figured I wanted to add my 2 cents about that.
No, by all means. And it's very important to understand what we're up against, especially Ron Paul. I mean, even today, I think you played a clip for me earlier, where the mainstream media was reporting on how he fares against Obama. And he's running neck and neck with Obama, head to head. But if you listen to the mainstream media, he's such a, that Ronnie, get out of here. He's got no chance. I'm telling you, folks, I mean, this is the way it's going to be up until the election. And all I can tell you,
play that clip for you, Joe, if you'd like.
Yeah, by all means, just go ahead and play that clip real quick.
It's up on YouTube, but it's Wolf Blitzer and one of their quote unquote talking heads having a chat about this poll that it's registered voters' choice for president, and if it was these two right now, Romney versus Obama was 48%, 47. Romney got 48. Obama got 47. When Dr. Paul went up, it was 47. I think it was like 47 or 48 for Obama and 46% for Paul. That's astronomical. So people are getting the message, and we still have like a year to go. So there's there is actually a chance. Okay, there's actually a real chance here, and they realize it, and they're scared, and that's why they're acting the way they are. Check it out.
Barack Obama versus Ron Paul. Also, 48% for Obama, 46% for Paul. Sampling error 3%. Those are pretty close races.
Very close races. I mean, first of all, what this tells you, Wolf, is that no matter who's the nominee, this is probably going to be a very, very tight race, particularly if it's Mitt Romney. The eye-popping number to me, of course, was the Ron Paul number. And you remember 1992.
I'm not even going to play it any further because then they start comparing him to Ross Perot and everything else, and they have to always come up with an excuse as to why. Oh well, he makes another step forward, and it's always another excuse why he made another step forward. It's this they're in denial, Joe, and it's to the point where everybody can see it. It's so blatantly obvious that the general public can see it, and that's why the mainstream media has no clout anymore whatsoever.
No, that's absolutely right, and that's why the alternative media is making great strides, and the internet is making great strides in pushing real news, and people aren't relying on the mainstream media. Just take a look at the ratings of these cable news networks now. They're bottom feeders. They're bottom feeders in the grand scheme of things. That's what they are. Nobody watches this crap anymore because that's what it is. It's crap. Gloria Barger, whatever her name is, her husband's a freaking lobbyist for the military-industrial complex. Of course she doesn't want Ron Paul to get in. God forbid he stops the wars. Oh, hubby may be out of a job. Oh, no.
Yeah, she won't be able to, have a Coach bag, and she won't be able to drive her Bentley and probably have a driver and have a maid.
Let me say this, man. If that's the case and she's got all that, then she could at least plunk the 5K down or so to get a freaking nose job. Oops. Did I say that? Was I thinking out loud?
It's her inner evil, and it's her inner ugly making her outer ugly come out.
I don't like her at all. As a matter of fact, I utterly loathe her. But that's just me. As well as many of these mainstream media types. Sellouts, if you will. Because the media is supposed to be the ones that are asking the tough questions and holding politicians accountable for what they do. But do they? No, they're in bed with them. Their strings are pulled by them. So, and how easy is it now? I mean, think about it. The mainstream media is owned by 6 corporations. 6. That's how small whenever we talk about how tightly knit this group is that control everything, it's tight. 6 corporations control all the mainstream media outlets. So what do? Well, we do what other companies have done in the past. You have to unseat them. You have to give a better product so that people will actually migrate from these mainstream media casts to podcasts like this one, or go listen to network radio like Orion Talk Radio, and go and get the real information and the real news and things they can actually use instead of rotting their brain cells and losing years off their lifespan listening to these talking heads and pundits just spew crap and lies on the boob tube. And remember, folks, support the alternative media. I have a radio show, the Freedom Link Radio, that airs on the Orion Talk Radio Network Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. and Sundays from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And Popeye has his radio broadcast, Down the Rabbit Hole, also of the Orion Talk Radio Network, on Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. and on Sundays from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And really, folks, pay attention. Pay attention, open your eyes, see the lies, and come to Orion, come to the Intel Hub, go to Federal Jack, and get the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to tonight's Intel Hub News Brief.